Okay, welcome back to Pen and Prosper, where JT Lawrence and I talk about writing and publishing and author mindset and everything in between. Last episode, we had Sevilla part one, and we are back with Sevilla part two. Thank you for letting me rack your brain. I wish there was like a chip that we could put into your brain and then just like stick and I could upload,
I
right?
know, I
But I mean,
know.
this is as good as it gets, to be honest. I get like the play by play. Okay,
Yeah, you
so
get the highlights. You lucky.
yes, yes. So we spoke about your panel, your chaotic wine-fueled panel, and we spoke about your three biggest takeaways. Let me see if I can remember them. Write more books, embrace technology, and advertising.
Correct.
Um, but I know you attended a lot of talks, you networked with a lot of people. So the OPTs, other people's talks. Tell us a bit about those and some of the
Did you
most
just
like the
make that
biggest
up? OPTs.
OPTs, yes. I always go OPCs. Like if I've got other people's children, I'll be like,
Oh,
Mara will be like, why are you driving so slowly? And I'm like, because I've got OPCs, other people's children.
OPCs in the car.
So OPTs, other people's talks. Give us those pearls of wisdom for those of us that couldn't be there with you.
Okay. So, because the conference was so full on and I've been on deadline, I have not yet, because I like after conference, I like to sit down with my notes and like write very neatly all the stuff that I want to put into practice, all the things that I think are very important. And I'm usually quite organized like that. But
Okay.
as you know, I've been surviving on very little sleep. I'm on deadline, and
Yes.
so my notes still look like this. But I did sit before the pod and just quickly highlight the stuff that I think that we could talk about or just touch on.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
All right.
Hit us with your
Are you ready?
highlights.
You
Yes.
ready? Okay. The keynote speaker is Steve Higgs. He's the guy I have such a like awful
Oh,
crush on.
yes. The one you sat next to in your panel.
Yes.
Oh,
So I just need to tell you a little bit of history about him because he has
yes.
been a huge part of my success. Even before I bought my rights back, I was thinking about strategy and I'm like, how am I like I really need to up my game here. Like I need to earn more money. What am I gonna do? So I listened to a lot of different things, watched a lot of different things, and one of the things I did is I started listening to the 20 books uh, YouTube videos from I don't know what year it is, but I will put a link to the talk because it's so important. I'll put a
Okay.
link to the talk in the show notes. But there were lots of talks that were excellent. I learned a lot. But there was one guy named Steve Higgs who I'd never heard of before. He's this wonderful self-deprecating guy. He used to be in the army. He's like got this amazing body and like he's a urban
Oh,
fantasy,
wow.
right?
All the other stuff didn't need to be there.
I told you he's my crush. Okay, I'm allowed to crush on him.
He's your author crush. I love
Yeah.
it. Okay, so Stephen is bag and bod was giving you all this advice. I love it.
And he's so funny. He's like, yeah, like I had to work really hard for a lot of years and I hardly saw my wife. So I hired this guy, Kevin, to have sex with her. For the rest of the talk, it's like, yeah, yeah, I still go golfing on weekends with Kevin.
What genre does he write? Just out of interest?
Okay, so he writes urban fantasy.
Oh wow. Okay. I don't know why I thought you were gonna say like military thriller or something.
It is interesting. If you look at him, you wouldn't say he writes urban fantasy or
Okay.
cozy mystery. He writes cozy mystery, a lot, very successful cozy mystery stories.
Okay.
It,
Everybody is
it,
gonna be Googling Steve Higgs. But Steve Higgs shirtless.
I have to tell you this. I have to tell you this. While he was doing one of his talks, there was a woman in the audience who was Googling his wife because my friend was sitting behind her and she was like, and she's friends with Steve. And she was like, mm. So this story is like becoming really long. Sorry. So
Okay.
I watched this video. This guy I've never seen before. He's written urban fantasy, he's written cozy mysteries, and he is making millions,
Oh,
literally
wow.
making millions with Facebook ads. So I've done
Okay.
all the Facebook courses. I've been doing Facebook ads on and off like my whole author career, right? And I'm like, oh, okay, I'll listen to this one about Facebook ads. He outlines the process so clearly, exactly what you have to do. So I'm not talking like 101, like how to set up an ad, right? I'm talking about Facebook ad strategy. This is what your creative must do. You must use attribution links. You must da 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 da, right? I will
Okay.
go through all of this with you when I do the
Oh,
Facebook ad. Before we do the Facebook setup,
yes.
you have to watch that I would like it if you watched it 2 or 3 times, just
Okay.
to get it in your head. And it's entertaining, so don't worry. It's not like, oh my God, I have to watch Steve Higgs again.
I don't mind rewatching things because I find
Yeah,
every time I do, I take
it
something
is
else away.
good. This is how my success started. So I watched
Okay, so
this video.
you watched it, yes.
I watched this video. I'm like, I got excited. I'm like, okay, I think this is gonna work. You know, like when you do a course and you're like, oh my God, that's so great. It's gonna work. And then you do it and then it doesn't work. And you're like, well, again, never
Yeah,
gonna pay for a course again.
yeah,
This is
yeah.
free. It's on YouTube. Anyway,
Okay.
so I started implementing his Facebook ad strategy and it worked.
Wow. Okay.
Flippin' worked.
Okay.
So that's when I started doing ads like properly for Micah. And I'm like, come, I need more budget because these are working, these are working. And then Micah wasn't giving me the budget I needed because I was seeing such a great ROI, so
You
many
wanted to
new
scale
readers.
up.
He capped it at $70 a day. And I was like, why? The ROI is there, the readers are there, we're getting reviews, there's read through. Why are you
Yeah.
capping it? And businesses have their cash flows, and I understand that.
Yes.
But that was one of the main reasons I had to buy my rights back and leave Moanic Press. He was holding me back. But this
Yes.
wouldn't have happened if I hadn't watched that video.
Yeah.
So buying back my rights was a thing that unlocked everything. But I wouldn't have had the confidence to do that if I didn't have ads that were working so well. So now you understand my
Yeah.
obsession with like the Higgs Facebook method.
Yes.
Obviously, it didn't work in isolation. It's not like I didn't publish any books. I watched a video and I got rich. No, I've been working my butt off
A
for like 10
decade.
years. It wasn't luck that got me there.
You can spin a good yarn. Not like
Yeah,
you're a
yeah,
shit author who's throwing money at it to sell books. You're a great author.
yeah,
It's just that to be a great author is one thing, but to get noticed in the sea or swamp
exactly,
of Amazon's,
exactly.
it's impossible.
Okay, so then I met Steve in London when I went to the conference last year. And that was when I hadn't bought my rights back yet, but I was seeing the success on the Facebook ads. And I went up to him and I bought him a drink. And I'm like, Steve, you have no idea how you've changed my life. And he is so humble. I wouldn't describe me as a humble guy. He's charismatic and he's awesome. He's a regular guy. But as soon as you
Okay.
start saying things like you changed my life, he's like, oh no, 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 no. I'm just, I'm in his talks, he's always like, guys, I'm done. If I can do it, you can do it. He's like self-deprecating. He's definitely not done.
People who say they're dumb are normally the smartest people in the room. Is he very prolific?
He has over 100 books.
Oh wow, okay. Okay.
He's not there because it benefits him.
I mean, he could be sitting at home drinking margaritas and swimming in his money. So could you, friend, but here you are talking to me. So you know what? You paid for it. Okay, what did Steve teach you this time? 'Cause
I only have 4 or 5 points here. The first one
okay,
is the money is already there for you. It's waiting to be unlocked. And this,
okay.
and like I was quite surprised to hear this because this is very like abundance mindset, manifest.
Manifesting. Yeah.
It's like they all say the money is there. It is there. You just need to go and get it. And
Yeah.
in my case, that was definitely the case.
Yeah.
Like the money was there. I just had to unlock it.
I
Anyway.
also think that there is an element of money making money because if I think about it, like, would you have been able to do what you did if you hadn't sold the house and freed up that cash? Probably a lot slower.
Slower. Definitely
Yeah. So you would
slower.
have got there,
Um,
but you would have not been able to scale up as quickly as you did.
that is
Okay.
absolutely true. There were a lot of factors that had to fit into place to unlock the money for me.
When we do my Facebook ads, it'll obviously be a more realistic in terms of the normal person would be able to do it starting
Yes.
out. Because
Yes.
we're not
Yeah.
going to throw huge, it's going to be small, scale up, like,
Yeah.
affordability is going to come
Yeah.
into play.
Yeah. It was
So,
basically me 2 years ago.
yes, yes. So I think that'll
Yeah.
be a really good exercise to show people that you can still do it on a smaller scale.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
don't
No.
need to sell your house to make it
Yeah.
as an author.
Yeah. Yeah.
It just speeds
Um,
things along.
I mean, I remember thinking because someone said, "Yeah, like $10 a day when you're testing ads is great. Like you should be spending $10 a day." And I was like, in South Africa, I'm like, that's 200 rand a day, and it's like 200 rand that I don't really have.
Yeah.
Like I could if I go without a lot of other stuff, but like
Yes.
so I really understand that. I'm not like swimming in diamonds, you know that, Dalport. I'm hardly
Yeah.
taking any money out of my business as it is. I'm not
Yes.
Not in that thing where I'm like, oh, everyone's got money, they must just invest in their business. No, I was there very recently, and I know what it's like. So we all start very small and very
That's
conservative.
good. Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, but hit us with some more Steve Higgs.
Okay, so you need to believe in yourself. And I've been saying this for a while now. I've always believed in my work, always. Maybe to the point of arrogance, because I'm like, I know I can write and I know my books are good. I don't get imposter syndrome as far as writing is concerned because you know what it is? It's being told, and I'm sure the same thing happened to you. It's being told by every single English teacher in every year, you should be a writer, you should be a writer,
Mhm.
you should be a writer. You know, and like
Yeah,
I published little books in primary school and used to
yeah,
like give them to my friends. Like, like this is your life's thing, like this is your zone of
yeah.
genius. I'm not saying I'm immune to imposter syndrome. I think I get it in various situations, but it's just not with my actual writing. So I think believing in your work is one thing, and I've always believed in my work, but I was not commercially successful. But then I realized I think it was like a year ago, something just clicked for me, and I realized that I have to believe in myself. And there's a big difference. There's a very big difference there. So
Okay.
the the girl 2 years ago who believed in her work wouldn't have bet her house on
Okay, got it.
her work.
Yes, because the Facebook ads, if you think of it almost like gambling, that's not your work that's making that money happen. That's you learning
Yeah,
how to do something well that's
yeah,
not writing. Because running those ads and doing the marketing, that's not writing. That's got nothing to do
yeah.
with your writing.
You get the difference, right? Believing in your work and believing in yourself.
Yes,
And to
yes,
believe in yourself means you have to like sometimes make some big bets and sometimes sacrifice things and
yes.
like
Bold
you see the
moves.
vision of what bold, thank you, bold moves. You see the vision and you have to have clarity and courage and go for it. The other thing he said is um, always try to be learning one new thing. So, basically it's about upskilling, right? You learn Facebook ads, they're awesome. Then you move on to the next thing. What's next? Maybe it's AMS
Okay.
ads, maybe it's Kickstarter. You're always learning one new thing,
Okay.
always adding to your
Okay.
arsenal. And then the last thing, I thought it was so funny. You know how we were saying how authors are like so kind to each other and like share their information and stuff. Whereas like in Hollywood, apparently it's the complete opposite. So he said when he was comparing it, he said the indie author community is like Smurf Village,
Oh, sweet.
as opposed
Everybody's
Smurf
so
Village,
cute.
as opposed to like other industries, which are more like a knife fight in a phone booth.
But it's true though.
It's
I
so
don't,
true.
more supportive community, I don't think you'd find. Especially
No,
since you're in competition, but you're not in competition
you're
because
not though. You're not.
what other
Yes.
highlights have you got for us?
The next speaker was James Blatch.
Okay.
And do you know who he is? He's the guy who started the self-publishing formula with Mark Dawson.
Okay. No, I've heard of Mark Dawson, but not James
Okay. So
Blatch.
they started the self-publishing formula podcast, like I'd say maybe 6 years ago. I listened like from the first episode. So I like watched them grow and it was awesome. And Mark Dawson just got more and more and more successful. And James takes forever to write books, but then when he writes a book, it's great. And he's got these amazing covers and he's a really, really
Mhm.
lovely guy. He's a wonderful, wonderful guy. He actually has a podcast, a new podcast with another author, and it's more like chatty and just they like just basically catch up for 20 minutes once a week or something like that. It's quite nice to listen to. All right, so James, he was talking about he was talking about Facebook advertising because that is really um, where the self-publishing formula that was their main focus because Mark Dawson made all his money starting with Facebook ads. So that's
Okay.
why they opened the Facebook ads course and all of that, which I've done all those courses and I was 100% into SPF.
Okay.
So, so he was talking about Facebook ads. He was saying your targeting. So we'll also talk about this when we do your Facebook ads, but your targeting is now your creative. In the old days, you would target people like, let's say we're targeting people for our urban fantasy. We would target readers. We'd target people who have Kindles, fantasy readers, fantasy films, all that stuff. And then you get like a really tight, relevant audience. The ad showing up to the right people, which means cheaper clicks, great click-through rate, and hopefully sales, right?
Okay.
That was like the golden age of Facebook advertising for authors. But things have changed so much since the Cambridge Analytica scandal. I don't even know if it was called that or something else. And Facebook was no longer allowed to target people so granularly. So
Okay.
things changed a lot. A lot of targets fell away, a lot of interest fell away, and it is much more difficult to target the correct audience now. And you can still choose those things when you are setting up your target audience, but it does not work as well. So a lot of the strategy now is to target broad, and then you use your creative, and by that I mean your graphic design of your ad, the actual visual of your ad, that is going to do the targeting for you.
Okay,
So,
because someone's not going to click on it if they don't, it doesn't appeal to them.
exactly,
Okay.
exactly. So you're not sending it to like Sandra, who's a Kindle fantasy reader. You're sending it to everyone. And your picture, let's say it's urban fantasy, your picture is a woman with a wand with magic going around her. There are various cues, right? Levels of cues. So the first level would be the actual graphic. So you've got the witch with the wand, okay? Then the
Okay.
next thing, how are we going to target Kindle people? Because this is a KU title, right? So you have a Kindle Unlimited badge in the corner. The next
Yes.
thing, how do we reiterate that it's urban fantasy? You have a quote on the graphic saying, "This is the best urban fantasy I read all year." Or similar, you have to go through your reviews and find something that
Okay.
not only says what the genre is, but it's a book, very important, very, very important that it's a book. Otherwise, people think it's a movie and they click through.
I'm just making notes
Yeah,
because before
yeah.
we start my Facebook ads, I'm gonna have to create
Mm,
some of these graphics. So that's more homework I need to
yes,
do. So
yes.
I'm just making
Yeah,
notes, even though I know I'll have this afterwards.
cool. So the visual is completely on genre.
Okay.
You've got your KU badge on your thing. You've got a quote from one of your reader reviews that not only says it's urban fantasy, but also that it's a book and also that they loved it. So there is a
Okay.
lot going on there. It's quite a simple thing because it's a graphic, a badge, and a quote. So that's quite simple. It's not going to like smash you in the face, and the Facebook person isn't going to be like, oh, like there's so much happening there. No, it's like an elegant design, but it's got so many cues that are
Okay.
relevant. And then the right person will click that. Honestly, that's a lot of like Steve Higgs strategy that's in there. But James was saying the same thing. He was saying your targeting is now your creative. That's 100% one of the keys that unlocked Facebook ads working for me. Ambiguity kills sales. If you are advertising a thriller and you have a picture that is like,
An apple orchard.
yes, thank you.
I'm only
Like,
saying that
like,
because there was that book, Apples Never Fall or
oh,
whatever, which was a thriller, but the title
oh,
just never made sense to me. I was like, it sounds like
oh,
such a gentle title. And the front
yeah,
cover was a bicycle and some apples on the floor. It didn't look like what it was. You know what I mean?
yes, exactly. And that's
Yeah.
ambiguous, right? It's the same with book covers because as soon as you have ambiguous book cover, people don't know.
Did you watch last week's episode?
No.
I quoted you and you told me to change my cover. You said, what genre is Guardians of Summerfeld? I said, it's urban fantasy. And you were like, well, have you told your covers?
I'm so rude.
No, I think your exact quote was, why don't you tell your covers? Since I changed the covers, without a doubt, the sales have picked up.
Yeah,
So, I
yeah.
mean, I hate to say you're
Ambiguity
right, but
kills, well,
yeah,
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 it is the
yeah.
habit of mine. And it's not just covers, it's also titles. Like
Okay.
it's all got to work together. Don't have the apple orchard
Yes.
and then you say like a
Yes.
dark night of the soul. No,
Yes.
like nothing's
Yes.
working there. The title
Yeah.
needs to be on genre.
If the title
The
says
book
a court
cover.
of, you know you are going to be reading
Exactly.
some
Exactly.
fey porn, you know?
Yeah. Anything about ashes and blood and whatever, then you know it's
Yes.
fantasy. It's like,
Yes.
so the title has to be unambiguous. The cover has to be unambiguous. The blurb and the Facebook ad. And if those things are
Okay.
all working together, then you are much closer to getting a sale. He
Yes.
described it as that this was quite nice. It's an analogy that I think I'll remember for a long time. if there's like a big accident in the world, the people who investigate the accident will go and see the reasons for it. And there's never one reason because there are safety protocols in place. There are usually a few reasons that all kind of lined up together, unluckily, and then that accident happened.
Yeah.
So that's like the Swiss cheese example. If you think of like 5 slices of Swiss cheese with the holes in, if you try and get through one part, you're not going to get all the way through. You're not going to get all the way through. But there will be one hole that lines up with the other hole that lines up with other, and you can get all the way through.
Yeah.
And that then would be the accident. So that is the negative example of the Swiss cheese thing. That's how they use it in investigating accidents and things like that. But he uses it as in the positive sense, where he
Okay.
says your package, cheese slices, have
It's
to
all
line up
alone. Okay.
if you want that sale. Okay.
Okay. Gotcha.
His other point was don't try and reinvent genres, which I mean we all agree with. When you are Margaret Atwood, you can reinvent as many genres as you like. But for now, if you want to sell your book, it has to be unambiguous, and you can't do that kind of creative genre hopping stuff. I mean, of course you can, but then don't expect it to be easy to market your book.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I love the idea of writing a genre hopping, crazy, long, standalone book, but will it sell? No. Then he also said that your title, apart from representing the genre, it would be good if it evokes emotion. And I'm trying to think of the example that he
I'm going to give
gave.
you an example. The Legacy. What a
Okay.
terrible title I used for my very first book. It means nothing. Whereas, like, if I think of A Life Made of Lava, which was a very close to my
Yes.
heart about a woman who was dying and her 3 children, and they
Yes.
played that game within the family, the floor's lava and you've got to jump up on the surfaces and stuff. And
Yes.
because her life is basically combusting, I
Yeah.
just think like that title, Life Made of Lava, is far more emotive than The Legacy, which could mean
Yes.
anything.
Yeah.
So I get what
100%.
you're saying. Like your title is important, I
Yeah.
think.
Because what do readers want at the end of the day? They want to feel something, right?
Yeah.
Then another analogy he uses is you want the fit to be as comfortable as an old pair of slippers. Like you want the reader to just like slide their feet into that nice, comfy pair of slippers.
I
Like, this
recognize
is
this. I
perfect.
know I'm going to love this book.
Yes.
Okay, who
Okay.
is number
So the next
three?
talker was Benedict Brown. He's a lovely English guy who now lives in Spain. He writes cozy mysteries, but
Is that
set
his
in
real
a
name or is that his pen name?
no, no, it is. It is his
Oh,
real
I
name.
love it. I love a good alliteration name. I love
I
it.
know.
Okay, so he writes cozy mystery.
Cozy mysteries, but they set in like I think I want to say like the 20s,
Okay.
like Art Nouveau kind of style covers and stuff. Like they look very
Okay.
cool, like Gatsby kind of style.
Oh, divine.
He's very talkative and he's very funny. So I think that his books will be good. So I'm looking forward to reading his work. Even though I don't
Okay.
really read cozy mysteries, I think it'll be fun.
So what did he have to give us? I'm like soaking this all in. I'm like absorbing all these nuggets.
He used to be a teacher, and now he's a pretty successful author. So that's awesome. Like his life has
Mhm.
changed considerably. So that's awesome. He was able to retire his wife, who couldn't be happier because she loves being a mom. She loves being in the
Oh,
house and that kind of thing.
divine.
Shame. And it during our panel with like the feminism vibe, it's it was a bit awkward because the person who asked the question was like, I see all these men on stage and not women, and all these men have these women at home doing all this stuff for them and whatever. And there were people in the audience who said, no, that's not true. My husband helps me a lot. And I was like, yeah, my husband helps me. But then Benedict's like, but my wife loves being, I was gonna like say hashtag trad wife, but it probably wouldn't have gone down well. But like his wife loves it, and it's the
Yeah.
life that she
She
wants.
wanted.
And he wants it for her, and like it seems like such a great situation. She does his graphic design, so she does the
Okay.
covers, and I think
Okay.
she might do the formatting. And like, how awesome is that? So
I
like,
mean,
don't
do
get
you know
up in
what?
someone's face.
I am a feminist, but when feminism becomes toxic, I have zero time for it. I will cut it at the knees. I'm like, don't come here with the toxic feminism. Like now you're just venturing into dangerous waters. Do you know what I mean? I
Yeah,
have a son.
yeah,
I have daughters. I want my daughters to succeed, but not at the expense of my son. I can't do
Yeah.
what I do without having a husband who allows me, well, doesn't allow me, don't know, God, now I'm really going to get shut up.
Oh my
But
God.
a
Oh,
husband who
you're gonna get
enables
such
me,
hate.
he works so, and I can stay home. He doesn't mind. It's not a problem.
Shame. Okay, so yeah, so he's got this awesome little life that he's made now because his books are selling so well. He's got 15 books in the series. In his talk, actually, he was saying um, what he does is he focuses on his writing and he doesn't chase all the shiny things. He hears people talk about Kickstarters and this and this and box sets and this, and he doesn't do that. He focuses on his writing. So I think that's brilliant, and I really respect him for that. But I grabbed him after that talk and I'm like, listen. And I said, I'm not asking you to spend 200 hours on a Kickstarter. I'm asking you to spend 2 hours doing
Assembling a
three
box
box
set.
sets for your series because
Yeah.
can you imagine how that's going to take off? He's going to love me.
Yeah.
Anyway, I bullied him a lot. I wouldn't let it go. I got his number, and when I got back, I said, "So, how are the box sets coming along?" I sent his wife the artwork for the, like the 6 book
Yes, to
cover
show the
artwork.
sample. Yes.
Yeah, so that she can just click in and do
Do
the
yours,
like change.
do you make yours from a template or did you create it
It's
yourself?
It's an awesome template I got from Cover Vault when they were still in business. They're not anymore.
I remember
Um,
that.
yeah, anyway.
What else did Benedict tell us? We've got to stay on track here.
His main thing was like he's indestructible, right? And that's his superpower. And I think that's
Okay.
amazing. I mean, he's written so many books and he
Okay.
writes a lot. I can't remember how many words he writes a day, but it's a lot. He gets 6 books out a year, which is
Yeah,
considerable.
that's moving. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
That was like our year with Micah. I still have PTSD.
Does your eye also start twitching when you
It's
think
so
about it?
good.
But remember, to go back to our conversation about retiring his wife, she does his covers. I think she does
Mm,
his formatting. She looks after the kids. She looks after the
mm,
house. So all
okay.
of that is taken care of,
Yeah,
and
so he
he
can
can
write.
sit and write. So it's
Yeah.
like in the old days when like the guy got all the
The
all
credit.
the kudos, yeah. And in fact, it was the wife in the background doing a lot of the work. And
Yeah.
he openly says, like, I could not do this without my
Without.
amazing wife.
Oh,
So,
sweet.
I mean, basically, they're a team, right? And they're doing really, really
Yeah.
well. Like, don't be hard on yourself if you can't get 6 books written in a year, Delport, because it's different for us. We're
Yes, we've got a lot
juggling
going on.
everything. And what was quite interesting, he said that he's got 2 ARC teams, one very large and one mini. So he
Okay.
first sends it to his mini team,
Okay.
gets their feedback. Then he sends it to a large group, and they all become like, as ARC readers do sometimes, is turn into like mini promoters for the work, right? So you're not just doing it for reviews. Those guys will go to their friends and say, "Have you read this book? Have you read this book?" They're on the Facebook book groups. They are mini promoters. I stopped doing ARC readers a long time ago because I just like couldn't. I didn't feel like I could keep up with it. It was so time consuming. But when he says it that way, and it's like, yeah, it's true. Those ARC readers are promoting your book, even if each one of them only tells one person about the book, they are getting the
Yes.
word out there, and that's so important. What he does is he sends a personal reply to every single reader who gets back to him. He says it takes
Jeepers.
forever. It takes forever.
Okay. Yeah, but look at the
But it's
connection
just
that
part
he's
of his.
built. And what do we say? Connection equals conversion.
Yeah, he made me reconsider that because I'm just so happy to have ARC stuff off the table. But now I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, maybe I should do it for my new fantasy set or something. I don't know. It's back on the list. Oh, and then this is quite an emotional thing. Shame. He has 2 brothers. His brother has stage 4 cancer,
Oh,
which is obviously absolutely terrible. But what Ben's success has allowed him to do is to make sure that his brother like has any treatment that he needs and like is taking care of him. It just brings everyone back. Oh, got goosebumps. Just brings it all back to like why are we actually doing this? Why
yes.
why do we want commercial success
Yes. So that
for
we
this
can
reason?
help and enjoy and experience. And yeah, there's no
Exactly.
Prada handbags coming here, friend. Okay. Back to Benjamin. No,
Okay, so
Benedict. Benediction Cumberbatch.
addiction Cumberbatch. Cumbersnatch. Okay,
That's it.
that's it for Mr. Benedict Brown. So this guy's name is Pablo Poveda. He's the guy I spoke about earlier when just we were touching on AI and technology because he's very
Yes.
much into AI. I wrote this down and I only saw it this morning and I haven't looked it up yet. But Derek Murphy has been in the indie industry for a very long time. He's a very well respected guy, lovely, helpful guy. He's actually helped me with stuff before. Did your chair just fall? I just saw you do this.
Was trying to do it like discreet. I realized that I was so much higher than you. So I
You're
was
getting so
like,
excited.
I'll just pull my chair down. And it was like a dog.
So
Oh,
Derek Murphy apparently has something out freely available on his website. It's called
okay.
24 Chapters. And Pablo was saying it's very helpful because if you want to plot your novel, you look at this 24 chapter document and it tells you like this is what should happen here and this is what should happen here and
Oh,
then
that's clever. Like a spine,
this,
like of the bones of.
yeah. So
Okay.
especially for people who have never written a book before or who battle with plotting or whatever, I think that could be a very helpful tool. He uses AI for like everything. He uses it to check his plot. He'll feed his plot in and say, how is this? One of the interesting things was he said, you must be careful which AI you ask. Most AI is trained to be very, very complimentary. So they'll be
Oh,
like,
really?
excellent, excellent plot. And I think that this book will be sold very well. So he's
Tiny
like,
little robots.
yeah. So you must be careful which AI you use, and then also to tell the AI, you can be critical of you must be critical of this. Don't just say it's good. No, what are the weaknesses in this plot? You
Okay, that's
reframe.
smart.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he does the same so he does it for plot. He does it for tropes. He says, does this have the correct tropes for the genre?
Okay.
He uses
So
a
it's
thing
almost
called
using it
perplexity.
as like a beta reader.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if you have paid, I know with ChatGPT, if you have the paid version, you can tell it not to learn from you.
Oh.
Yeah. So I can like feed my manuscript in and say, oh, can you pick up whatever, whatever? And I can say, do not learn from this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And it's not allowed to.
Okay.
Well, I mean,
That's
whether
cool.
it listens, but yeah, apparently you can tell it not
Yeah.
to learn from you.
I was telling Mike the other day, I'm really not concerned about that. I mean,
No, nor
I
me.
think AI has all our books anyway. It has
Yeah.
everything. It has all our
Yeah.
Facebook posts. It has
Yeah.
everything. And
Yeah.
trying to like backstep and like,
Gatekeep at
oh,
this point.
yeah,
Yeah. No, no. It's like talk about you can't put the genie back in the bottle, can you?
yeah. It's like piracy. Like, how many times have
Yeah.
you found your book on a piracy site? Like,
Yeah. It is
it's
what
like
it
playing
is.
whack-a-mole, and you just like it just
Yeah.
keeps coming up. So
And it'll
whatever.
just take so much bandwidth. So you just go, okay, that's chilled.
Yeah. Rather just write a new book.
Exactly.
One of his favorite AI things to use is called Perplexity, and it's got like a
Hmm.
deep search option. And he says it's pretty honest. He also said that you can train Claude in your voice. Like Claude's supposed to be more like, I don't know, like poetic or fiction based or something. I'm not sure. He also spoke about using ChatGPT to edit your manuscript. As far as I know, he still has a human editor. I'm not 100% sure. But I mean, basically, instead of feeding your book through like a Grammarly or ProWriting Aid, like we all used to, those are such good tools. I think maybe you don't need them anymore because you can run it through ChatGPT and it will tell you what changes it suggests.
Is he talking developmental or is he
Oh,
just talking
oh,
line edit? Oh,
oh.
wow. Okay.
Yeah, he will ask it to edit and to suggest improvements.
Okay. Got you.
It's quite
That's
amazing to think
crazy.
of.
Yeah, that is crazy. I don't
Crazy.
think I'm brave enough yet to do that. I also like working with an editor. I like the process of
Yeah,
a
so do
real
I.
person reading because I don't like to self-edit. I like to hand it over to someone and say, right, now you fix it, and then we'll move on. Okay,
Mm.
so Pablo is using chat to edit.
Basically, he's using it for everything. He's like, I'm Spanish. I want to have a nice life. I don't want to sit and like work all the time. No, like life is
Oh,
awesome. We
bless.
should be enjoying it.
Fighting words at a
Um,
writers' conference.
yeah. No, but we're all like, yeah, no, that sounds really nice. This was interesting. So when we are using Midjourney to create our Facebook ad creative, our artwork
Yes,
for our Facebook
yes.
ads. So like you and I, we like discuss prompts and we use like similar prompts and stuff. But what he does is he uploads his book and his blurb into ChatGPT, and then he asks it for a Midjourney prompt, which I think
Wow.
is
It's
amazing.
genius.
It's
Yeah.
genius. First of all, why didn't we think of it? And second of all, you know how cool it's going to be because we're going to go from like one or two prompts that we weren't 100% sure of to I'm sure you can ask for as many prompts as you like. And, just do it that way. It's going to save so much time and
Yeah.
it's going to be awesome. I'm really excited to try that. With Facebook ads, you do need to keep uploading new ads. So like those
Okay.
prompts of mine are getting
Getting
old and I
old.
need to up my game a bit. So that's really cool. He also brainstorms creative image ideas with ChatGPT. So instead of just saying, give me a mid-journey prompt from this book and blurb that I'm feeding you, he also says, okay, this is what my book's about. Let's brainstorm ideas together. And that's also cool. I've also
Yeah.
never done that. So
Yeah.
that's really cool. He said you can also try it for keywords and categories. You
Okay.
know, when you are setting up your page, when you are publishing the book for the first time, or if you're going and updating your keywords and categories, which you should be doing every 6 months.
Since
That
Pablo
was
got.
Pablo. That
Okay.
was also a super guy. I really, really liked speaking to him.
Whose talk did you go to next?
The next one was Enrique was the organizer. It was actually Enrique and Heidi, but Enrique gave a talk. Heidi was more of an organizer. So Enrique, I don't have many notes from the talk, but basically he was showing us how he gets books ready to present to possible movie makers and series
Okay.
makers. Yeah.
Okay.
And it was very interesting because he has this pitch document. The company is called Lantia or Lantia, Lantia. One of the interesting things he said was that in Europe, if you get a movie made and doesn't make money, it's still seen as a success because the writers get paid, the producers get paid, the
Oh,
actors get
yes.
paid, and
Yeah.
people see a movie, and maybe it's not the best movie ever made, but guess what?
People had
All those people
jobs.
got paid, and that's a
Yeah.
livelihood, right? So that's Europe. But in America, it's like everything is about being a commercial success. And if you have a
Yes.
film that bombs, it can ruin your whole career. And it
Yeah.
just shows like the difference in culture there, right? I thought that was
Yes.
very interesting. But basically, he showed us this pitch document. It's like it was this like A3 color, a glossy color thing, like a big brochure. And he says that a lot of people will take like their stapled together scripts on normal white paper and like go around handing them out and stuff. But his thing is like this, and I took pictures and I will send them to you. But basically, it's a cover of the book. It's the main genre, the main tropes, a very short paragraph telling you what the book's about and then a longer paragraph if you're interested to read more about it. So for someone who's looking for books to turn into movies, you get this piece of stapled together paper and you're like, yeah, I'll get to it later. Or you get this
Yes.
thing, it's almost like a mood board. It is like a mood board. It's got pictures of what the characters could look like, and everything is there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's like top of line. This is what you're getting. This is what you're getting. Like you can see just looking at it, that's a horror. You turn over, that's a romantic comedy. And it's like
Yeah.
he just presents it so well. Again, like you think it's a no-brainer. Of course you should present your book concept like that to a visual person. I mean, movie people are visual people.
Visual
But
people.
no,
Yeah.
no, we print out a little white thing and we like of words and expect someone to read it. Like, no, like what
Yeah.
is this? Such an interesting thing to watch. Um, and the
Do you
only other
think that
thing,
you're going to pitch? Do you think that you'll pitch your books to anyone? I mean, can you even unsolicited pitch to?
that's what I wanted to ask him. I'm like, where do you start? People like us don't know that. You don't know where to start if you don't have an agent or if you don't
Yeah.
have a connect in at Netflix. I mean, it is one of my big ambitions, and I will definitely pour more energy and effort into getting some kind of book or series deal. Super, super interesting.
It
One
also
one
makes
interesting
sense,
thing.
though, that a lot of these panel discussions would have been about AI because it is such a
Yeah,
relevant topic at the moment.
yeah. And it's gonna be for the rest of
Yeah.
our lives.
Yeah.
And we're gonna stop calling it AI.
Yeah. It's just going to be another
Just
tool. It's going to be.
everything is AI. Yeah. And then I had an interesting idea while I was listening to that, is that imagine, because I'm sure you could do it now, imagine you just put your book into one of these programs and you say, please produce a movie script for me.
But make sure that
Because
it looks like a mood board.
Yes. No, and then you do the whole mood board and thing. But one of the stumbling blocks, I think, for most of us is that we don't want to sit. I'd love to write a movie script, don't get me wrong.
No, I
But I don't
wouldn't.
want
I try to write radio scripts. I suck at it.
to, okay. But like
So,
when you after you've written the book, you don't really want to write the movie script of the book. Like if you
of that,
write an
okay.
original movie script, that's different, that's creative. But like an adaptation feels like it's not as exciting. But if you can
Yes.
just into chats or whatever, whichever guy you're using, and they give you a film script and you make changes and you feed it back and then da da da, and it's a collaborative process, you can come out with a really fantastic script, probably in
Script.
a day, that you can
Yeah.
start submitting because I've
Yeah.
never actually had a script to submit. Like I'm always like, oh, Netflix, I wish Netflix. But have I ever actually sent anyone a script or a mood
Yeah.
board?
Yeah.
But now, so much easier. So that was very exciting too. Okay, so that was Enrique, and yeah, that was great. Then this guy's name is Tony Lee. He's been in the industry for 38 years. So that's what makes him
Mm.
so interesting to talk to. Very, very nice guy. In his 38 years in the industry, he's made more money in the last 2 years than he did in his entire career writing.
Oh, wow. And what
2 years.
changed? What happened in the last 2 years?
Indie publishing. And he now makes he's made $2 million in the last 2 years.
Oh.
I think that's right. My handwriting is a bit scribbly at this stage. I mean, that's a lot of money.
Mm.
Um, so one of the things he said was, um, do you think of yourself as a writer who publishes books, or do you think of yourself as a publisher who also
You're
writes
right.
books?
Okay, got you.
Basically, are you a writer who publishes, or are you a publisher who writes?
I feel
Because
like
if you're
I'm
a
the
publisher,
first and you the second, to be
yeah,
honest. Like, you love that side of it. And I'm like,
yeah,
okay, that's a
yeah,
necessary evil.
yes. And it's one is not right or wrong. They're just
Yes.
different mindsets. So
Yes.
yes, you are that, and I am on the other side. And then you do your strategy according to that, right? Like for me, I'm all into whatever there is in publishing. I'm there.
Yeah.
I'm learning. I'm trying whatever I can. I'm pivoting. I'm like, whereas you want to focus on your books
Every time you
and
say
you
pivot, I think of Ross, from Friends. So I just want to focus on the books and I want to do the publishing. I mean, I find it interesting, but I see it as a necessary evil, not as
yes,
this like super exciting challenge. Do you know what I mean?
yes. 100%. One last little interesting thing he said was explore your subcategories. So we're talking earlier about updating your keywords and categories.
Yes.
He actually he made a big point of this, and I think he's the one who said that he had that like storyteller
Oh,
award winning book.
yes.
So he says you have to absolutely update that. Every quarter is best, but maybe once or twice a year is still okay. But don't just leave them
Stagnate.
to
Yeah.
do. Yeah, thank you. Um, and then another thing he said is explore subcategory and avoid ghost categories, which I'd never heard of. So ghost category is basically, when you go into the KDP the menu and you see all the different categories. It's like, okay, you go into fiction and then there's all the things for fiction. Then you go into science fiction and fantasy. Then you go into fantasy. Then you go into urban fantasy. You go da 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 da. Some of those really small categories are ghost categories because they just don't show up. So you
Okay.
can be like number one in, I'm making something up, paranormal housewife fiction, and it just won't show up anywhere because it's just such a
Okay.
tiny category. So just
Okay.
make sure that your categories, obviously it's nice to be in a small category because you can get your bestseller tag. But
Yes.
if you put down too much, it's a ghost category and you lose visibility. I had no
Okay.
idea, and that I thought that was quite interesting. Next is TJ Green. Her name is Tracy. I've been seeing her books on the bestseller charts for a while. And
Okay.
also, I've been seeing her Facebook ads. So I was very keen to meet her. She's also in the Discord. There's a Discord channel that certain people are invited to, and it's for urban fantasy. It's like millionaire authors. So like it's for authors who aren't there yet, but like we're on track to get to 1 million, right?
Okay.
And she's in there, so you know that she's doing well. She is this huge direct sales queen. She's flippin' amazing. She can also design, which isn't common for an author. Her branding is amazing. It's all from her. That she doesn't use anyone's help or graphic design. She does it herself. She's so good at direct sales. She does merch. She actually spoke to us a lot about merch. And
Okay.
I was talking about Printify before, which is very good.
Yes.
That's the place you used to like print your stuff on merch. She uses gelato, so I don't know if you've ever heard of that. I hadn't. And she does all kinds of things. I
I
actually
think
took
though, because
pictures
there's a
of her.
fee involved with Printify. So
Yeah, I
I
think there
remember I
is.
looked at it. So I think it really has to be worth your while. You know what I mean? Like you have to know that you're gonna I think it's kind of like an all or nothing.
I feel the same way about merch. I'm like, does anyone really buy merch? Okay, I know the answer is yes, but I'm like, I can't
Mm.
imagine people buying my merch. Like, why would
I
they?
do. I buy merch, but I got to tell you, if I'm looking for merch, I'm looking for there's probably maybe 5 books, 10 books that I'm looking for merch for. And I
Yeah.
love hundreds of books, but I don't want merch from every book I ever read. You know, I'd buy Harry Potter merch, but I'm not going to buy Percy Jackson merch. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
So, yeah.
Interesting. I took a photo of her slide that she was showing because she had so many great ideas. But I just wrote down here A5 weekly planner because you'd never think like an author would do an A5 weekly planner, and
Yeah.
yet she's like it's one of her best-selling things. I
Oh,
suppose the logic is like if you're going to be buying a planner anyway, then instead of
yes.
buying a generic one from Amazon, then you buy one
Yes.
from your favorite
An
authors. That's
author you
actually
like.
quite,
Yes.
yeah, yeah. I will send you that slide with all those ideas. I think they're fantastic. Um, but also another of my problems with merch is that I feel like it's another shiny object. Like
Mm.
I could sit for weeks designing merch. I would love it. I've got so many like quotes and stuff I could put on tote bags and shirts. And I love design and I would absolutely love that. But honestly, I don't think it'll add much to my business. And that's what
Yeah, in
I've
terms
always
of revenue,
thought.
I don't, yeah, I think for
Yeah.
now.
So I'm like, I think this is a bit shiny object for me. For her, it brings in so much flipping money. What she
Okay.
basically does is she bundles her books on her Shopify site. Then she uses Facebook ads to bring the reader in. They buy the big bundles and then they buy a little bit of merch to go with it. She said one of the great things about merch is that it gives your fans a sense of belonging because it's like she's cultivated this group of people who really love her books and
Yes.
like she's got the Facebook group. She's like she's cultivating them and they feel like they are like part
Part
they
of them,
belong.
almost like her marketing team. Like they like her success becomes their success in a way.
Yeah, yeah, and they're like all rooting for her and they all want to be like yeah like I'm on Tracy's team and then you buy the merch because you
Yeah.
feel that sense of belonging when you wear that shirt. So
Absolutely.
I thought that was quite interesting. Like I've never thought of merch in that way either. But of course, like
Yes.
Harry Potter, if you see someone wearing a Harry Potter shirt, you're like, that's my person.
Unless they're wearing a
So
Slytherin one and then you don't talk to them.
yeah. Or and also like J.K. Rowling, of course, is just so problematic at the moment. So we probably shouldn't be talking too much about her. Um, then yeah, she does the bundles and yeah, that's TJ. She was fantastic. I love her. She's actually like a witch and she writes witchy
Okay.
books. So she like
I
lives
don't
her
know that.
brand in every way possible. She's great. Absolutely great. Next, are you ready?
Yes. Who's next?
Okay, so this is the last one and this is very, very quick. This is Teddy Smith.
Okay.
He was really a great guy to meet. Another UK guy living in Portugal. A lot of
Okay.
the British people I met at the conference were living like in
In
Spain or
Europe.
near Spain.
Oh, gonna be you
Um,
soon.
yeah, maybe you never know. The thing is, once you leave your home country, like you cut that umbilical cord, and then you feel like you can move to different places. It's not this like, oh no, I'm leaving the country forever. It's like, yeah, I
Yes.
love living in North Berwick. I absolutely love it here. But I'd also like to live in Spain for a few years. That'll be cool.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
what a nice way for our kids to learn different cultures and stuff.
Yes. Okay.
So
Who
Teddy
is it? So
Smith,
Teddy.
fantastic guy, really liked him. And this is very quick because the only thing I'm going to tell you about his talk is that he has a platform called Publishing Performance, a platform. It's more like software, but basically it's AI-driven Amazon ads.
Oh
Okay.
wow.
So you know how difficult Amazon ads is. Complicated, like you have to get so granular, and then people start talking about like
Yes.
budget squashing, and you're like, ugh, like please God, no.
So is it
So
a lot more difficult than Facebook ads? Like a lot more difficult.
yes, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I wouldn't say, yeah, it's a horrible mix of difficult and not as effective.
Okay. Got you.
And that
Okay.
combination, I'm like, oh, like I just no, I don't want to. I just want to stay away from that. But when you do get an Amazon ad working, it can change your career. So I don't know. It's hard. It's hard. I'm always
Okay.
dipping my toes in and out. I have ads that have been running for years that are still making money. Yeah, I mean, I feel conflicted about it.
Okay.
And that's one of the reasons I hired Brian Cohen's team to
Yes.
take over. So far, I haven't seen a great ROI on that. I have a meeting
Okay.
with Caitlin today, and I'm going to talk about it. Because before it was too early to see an
To
ROI.
tell.
Too early. I'm definitely going to have something to report back, I think, because I think it's been like 6 weeks now. So it really is time to start seeing some kind of return. I know it was too early
Yes.
before, but now I think I really start having to see something. And if I don't, I think I need to stop working with them because it's a lot of money. And
Yeah.
yeah, so we'll see. But the whole reason I hired them is because I'm tired of doing my own Amazon ads. I don't want to do them. I'm not good at them, and it's
Yeah.
just too granular for me. So so this is why I love this product so much. First of
Okay.
all, it's super cheap because you get the first month free, and then after that, it's only $39 a month. But
Okay.
what you get for it is incredible. It's basically a very friendly dashboard that shows you your Amazon ads and how
Okay.
effective they are. And and you can change things through this platform. The,
Can you alter your ads from this platform instead of going into the back end of Amazon?
so I haven't done it yet, and I'm not 100% sure how it works. I'm going to be
Okay.
looking at it very, very soon because I'm very excited about it. But basically, it's an easier way to manage your ads, first of all. But the
Okay.
main is that it's AI driven. So you have AI helping you choose keywords, helping you choose which ad's working, which ad isn't working. It's like you have someone who really knows what they're doing in your corner. And I think that
Okay.
sounds flippin' amazing. And I can't wait to start.
Oh,
And
wow.
that's, again, the name is Publishing Performance. Super, super guy. I liked him a lot.
Well, as always, you're going to go first and then you're going to feed it back.
Of course, of course.
I mean, that is how it's like, it's our cut, copy, paste method of everything. Okay, so that is your wrap up
Whew.
of Sevilla.
Yes,
That is a
yes.
lot of information. The thing is, each of these people and each of these things that you learned in isolation is game changing. It's like when you throw all this information at once, it's like I actually feel like my brain switched off. But that is the beauty of this podcast is that you can go back and,
Listen
oh,
again.
yes, there was this one. And then, oh, there was this one. And oh,
Yeah.
so it's really nice to have it all in one space. Um,
Yes.
but sure, like complete overload. Like I'm like,
But
ah,
but can you imagine? Can you imagine how my brain felt
no,
even
you
after the
must have
first
been,
day?
no,
And
you
those were
must have
just
been
the
absolutely.
talks that I told you
And
about.
they just the
Imagine,
highlights.
yeah. But can you imagine like every because it's not like you stand and talk about the weather when you're on a networking break. You know, it's like
Yes.
I'm
Yeah,
telling
you
you something, you're
constantly
telling me
like,
something, someone else joins the conversation. We're all so excited about all the opportunities in the industry, and we all on the same vibe. And it was just the most amazing thing.
oh, but it must have been like
Oh,
such information overload. Like I would have actually felt like my brain was going to explode. I would have been like,
no, it did
oh.
feel like that. I did feel like that. Yeah. You should have seen me writing on the plane. You would have been so proud of me because I'm on this deadline. I'm like, oh my God, I've got to write on the plane. Normally I chill, listen to an audiobook, whatever. I've got my laptop out. It's like it's a Ryanair flight. So like there's absolutely no space. I'm like typing like this, like vertically, ordering a gin and tonic, drinking my gin, writing with one hand.
Love it. What a vibe.
I wish someone had taken a video for me so I could have used on TikTok because I'm sure it looked ridiculous. And then when they say laptops away, I'm like, damn it, because I was right in the middle of like a really good scene. So like I put it away and then I started writing on my phone, which I never do. If you told me write on your phone, I'd be like, no, I would rather actually not write for the rest of my life if I have to write on my phone. But it was fine. I was like grrr on my phone.
I
But
write on my phone when I'm under pressure. I'm like, yep, it's going, it's happening.
you
I can't stop. Let's go.
do.
Because also I spend a lot
Well,
of time in the car with my
yeah.
kids. So if I am in the middle of a scene and I'm leaving, I copy the last like 3 or 4 lines because realistically, like now I'll leave here, like say in the next 20 minutes. She's only
Yeah.
playing in an hour. I'll be sitting around there. I'll be so
Yes.
then I can continue with the scene. And then when I get home,
Yes.
I just copy it back into my manuscript and I carry on. So I don't lose momentum.
Momentum. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I've never done that. Like I'm always like need to be sitting down with my laptop or my computer and da 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 da. Like
Yes, it's
no,
the
I've
ritual.
learned. Yeah. No, but I've learned now. No, you don't need that, Janita.
You don't need
You
that.
can
You
start
just
anywhere. Yeah.
okay, well, we are almost out of time in this a record-breaking length episode, I believe.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
I mean, even with edits, I think it's going to run long, but I think there's just so much meat and so much resource in it that, yeah, this is a super valuable product.
It's
But
great.
let
I had
us
such a nice
sign
time.
off, and our next episode is going to be all about strategy, my strategy.
Strategy.
So that's going to
Oh,
be
and I
super
want to talk
exciting.
about numbers. I want to talk about my numbers, my
Yes,
February
and
numbers.
numbers. We're updating numbers, and you have some big news that we still haven't got. We may have to
You
film a
can't,
midweek episode. We may have to film a midweek episode. This
yeah,
might
you
just
can't
have
do
to
like a
happen.
double cliffhanger. That's so unfair.
All right. Well, I will see you in the next episode.
Okay. See you
Thank you for
then.
sharing. I'll see you then. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.